You're back for more. It's Chair Shot Reality on Wrestling Inc. Another playlist for you to enjoy in the weekend. He's Drew Springsteen. She is Katie Arquette. I am Justin LeBar. We are in downtown Pittsburgh at Point Park University. Guys, let's talk top headlines in the week of WWE. Two big things that happened, not storyline related, but real shoot, whatever word we want to use here.
Now we're going to say she was shooting and it wasn't just an accident.
Shooting.
She doesn't like Liv Morgan.
Brie Bella delivering the sequence, the succession of yes kicks, and I don't know if it was the fourth or fifth kick that she goes to deliver, and nails Liv Morgan right in the chin. Liv Morgan
Does she know how to work in the ring?
Drops. We'll get to this in a second. Drops like a sack of potatoes on the ground. And then
they got her back in the ring.
And she got back, and then she did a suplex spot.
Yeah, because she's tough.
She's tough. She stayed in there.
Oh, look, there's absolutely, in all of this, there's no denying that Liv Morgan.
Brie Bella's just trying to get her spot on the Evolution card because she doesn't think she's
going to take people out one way.
It happens. Mistakes like these happen.
Yeah, well, if that happened, you wouldn't be sitting at this desk.
Well, it did happen to me on Saturday once right here. But you know what? I'm here and I'm doing my job.
Okay.
A little headache,
well,
but I'm
Liv
fine.
Morgan will be next week as well.
Like Brie Bella's under this crazy microscope. Do you think this is valid?
What? What's valid? The criticisms?
Yeah.
I think
but not just this. Each and every week, everything is
Well, at some point, I think there should be, she should take some blame for it. Like, you should be a little bit more careful in how you're doing these moves. And I think it's odd that she had a mishap a couple weeks ago with a suicide dive, and you could say that it was her extra 10 pound, whatever excuse. But
yeah, but suicide dives doesn't hurt anybody else.
Okay, but
right.
except herself.
It hurts the product, and
Wow.
So it's not just because it didn't hurt anybody else doesn't mean it wasn't bad on TV. So you don't want to make mistakes going forward, and it's two in a row.
There's no denying.
I'm not saying she's the worst worker ever. That she has no talent.
That's what I'm. That's what I'm trying to do.
You got to be a little bit more careful.
That's what I'm trying to draw the line here. Obviously, yeah, Brie Bella made a mistake.
She was working with the Miz last couple weeks. That's why she didn't get injured. Miz is good, safe. Maurice, safe.
Obviously, it was a mistiming. It happens all the time. What drives me nuts? I mean, yeah. So there was miscommunication all around. It was just I know, but
it's almost like you're not putting the blame. No, you're making Liv Morgan at some fault here. Well, which I don't believe.
There can be two.
What I do wonder, yeah, if you watch, you see Liv Morgan's head drop. I don't know if she was trying to sell.
No.
I don't know what was going on.
There's clearly one where she gets hit and she doesn't fall forward to sell it. She's out. And she gets another one to the face.
Well, you did see, I don't know if it was the third kick or the fourth kick, but it was the last two kicks. The one she hit, and you could see it went right in her head, and she was out. And then the fourth one, because I think she went to sell the third, like that second to last kick, and then when it hit her, she came back and it smacked her again, and that's what made her fall. It can be on both parts. It can be on both parts because it's a timing thing. It's a timing thing, and you have to know like it happens.
Everybody's so quick to go, oh well, she's not.
No, I don't think
it's just a mistake, whatever. But no one's saying, okay, it's her fault. Can't we just acknowledge it's her fault?
No, I will say, Brie Bella made a mistake. Here's what I have a problem.
So many things you're saying. Oh, it was the timing.
The problem
is
no.
One person's hurt here, one's not.
It takes two to tango. The problem I have is everybody. I feel like there's a large vocal contingency out there that's making it out. They are judging Brie Bella harder than they would judge. When Rollins busted Cena's nose
and Sting's career and hurt Finn Balor.
Okay, but I don't. Okay, or when Nakamura dropped Cena on his head, or when AJ Styles nailed Miz to the forum. I don't hear this constant criticism of them the way we're hearing of Brie Bella.
It just seems as she's one of the ones that have made mistakes before that then because of that are looked at under a microscope.
I think it's now a domino effect, specifically with her and specifically a couple others, that whenever you continue to make mistakes like this, it's no longer a mistake. It's something that you need to be aware of, along with the timing.
You need to tune up.
That's why training is so important. I understand, like, everyone's busy.
And
she has a family.
Training, she's a veteran in the WWE. Training's not going to help her.
But no, I don't care how long you've been wrestling. If you're not in the ring at least twice a week, then I don't consider you a vet. A vet is someone that knows the business and works their butts off.
Well, to be fair, Brie Bella kind of did do a second round of training when she started. Once her and Brian got together, like you can definitely tell that Brian retrained her. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who's on record of being the Bella Twins trainer in FCW or who it is.
The main point is if this happens a couple months after that suicide dive botch that she had, the 2 of them in a row, I think we don't even talk about this.
But it's because
it's mounted up again, and this time you really hurt. Again, the first time she hurt herself, whatever, and that was a warning. Then she didn't hurt anybody. Now she did because of a mistake, and I think it should be looked at.
Let's also acknowledge that WWE.
See if maybe someone gives her a receipt next week.
So what do you mean looked at? What do you mean, like she should be taken off the roster, or like?
No. Just she should look at herself more carefully in the ring and make sure these mistakes don't happen on TV. If that happens at a house show, which does happen, these crazy injuries happen during house shows, and you can say, and it's a brief thing. Oh, this person should be more careful, but it's over. When it's on national TV, and you see it like that, that's a big.
And what made it worse on national TV?
Everybody's watching it. Well, not really anybody.
Well, not really. We'll get to that.
That's not what's rated government.
Only 2.3 million people. Only as
they're a very critical minority.
What makes it worse on national TV was the fact that if WWE would have just stopped the match, then it's like, okay, accident, match is stopped. It almost makes it look. I mean, the announcers will try to spin it as, oh, Brie Bella's kicking into Brie mode. She's just knocked out Liv Morgan. The fact but it's Brie mode, right? But that would have at least been them trying to cover it. The fact that it knocked Liv out,
the Queen of Strong style,
and then Liv, they say that they took Liv to the back. Then we see Liv on the outside with the doctor, and then Liv tries to get back in and she does do a spot which she should have never done. Because there was so much risk there. That made this whole thing drawn out look even uglier because you knew the match was going off the rails.
It's like she's an NFL player that went to the tent and came right back out and got knocked out.
When she got knocked out, had they just stopped the match.
Is that what you think should have happened?
Yes, there would have been no more ugliness. And then again, I know it sounds ridiculous, but this is what you do. If you're Michael Cole or Corey Graves or Renee Young in that live situation, you gotta keep the show going. You go, oh my God, Brie is in Brie mode. She has just knocked out Liv Morgan. You just try to make it look like it was part of the show.
Right.
That's all you can. But the fact they didn't stop the show. Or stop the match, made it look
or at least had her
worse.
Taken out of the match. I think in her head, she so knew that she's like, I got to keep doing it. Like, I can't mess up. We're on TV, but it's okay to be hurt and to no longer participate.
It might have not been stubbornness.
I think once she's out,
well, not stubbornness, but she was probably afraid to
roll her out of the ring, make it work in how the ring, and then don't get her back in. If she's evaluated,
that's what I mean. They should.
Right.
But what I'm saying, it might have not been stubbornness or whatever. It might have been a case since they confirmed she had a concussion and that she's having memory loss. She might have legit not even remembered that she just got knocked out. She might have just gone,
with the adrenaline running, and she gets whacked, and then it's like, I have another move. I have to go.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Now you're putting the medical staff at fault, not Brie Bella. I see how it is. Let's put everybody.
The poor doctor that's out. Well, the poor doctor that's out there, Liv, is the doctor that's went through the court trial with CM Punk, so he's had a rough year.
All in all, like, I think because of the botch she made previously, and now this big botch, she needs to be way more aware of what she's doing.
I'm looking for a mistake now.
Yes or no, do they put Brie Bella in a match on Raw? Do they put her in a match this Monday?
I think they should, so that she can prove that she doesn't make those mistakes. And I think she's fine in the ring. But then you make those mistakes, people look at it and think you're crazy and unsafe. You can't have that.
Well, for the lowest,
especially with a full women's pay-per-view, you gotta have someone that wants to work with her and not get knocked out in the middle of the ring.
Well, for the lowest Raw viewership ever, they certainly all were chiming in watching this particular match.
We had a better rating than Raw.
2.35 million viewers is what came in. They're saying that is the lowest, and they say the modern era. I don't know if that just means they're not counting when Raw was taped back in the early 90s.
Yeah,
I guess.
What's modern?
I'm assuming they mean. Well, I look back to like late. I'm assuming it means since it's been live. I would assume.
You know, they don't really have that. They didn't really. They'll just tell us a stat. And it's a stat.
They're saying 2.35 is the lowest. Previous to that, it was this past July there was an episode. So the lowest ever. And of course, again, same certain contingent of fans are freaking out, saying, "Okay, this is the reckoning is coming. WWE is falling apart."
No, this is always the time that happens. My one friend always said this is BS season. Once SummerSlam ends, all the way into a Royal Rumble, nothing of importance matters. Like once Royal Rumble happens, you got someone that's going to face a champion, and now another woman to face a champion, and all the champions are kind of set and feuds kind of begin, and then you go to WrestleMania. Up until then, from SummerSlam, things happen, but I think it's like almost like a reset.
It happens in phases. You go through these, dry patches where it's like, okay, we were up, and now it's starting to just like monitor. It's like going to the gym and you plateau. You have to do something different each time to get that big effect.
And it's their experimental time now that they have a Saudi show, an Australia show. They're doing these other things. They're not really focused on main storylines or anything, just kind of getting it going and let's get us to Survivor Series, then we can kind of work. Because then the Christmas time is always really down.
This is filler work right now.
We're filling let's get things
September
going.
Is traditionally
and football,
football's back. Major network sitcoms are back.
Baseball playoffs too. That's going to
everything's going on. I get that. But I'll actually say this does not mean like WWE's falling off the wheels here. But I do think that something has to be acknowledged a little bit by WWE of okay, they have one of the best rosters they've ever had, depth-wise.
Oh yes.
All right. Obviously, they're making more money than they ever had. Both things very relevant. But I will say the formatting of Monday Night Raw is probably the worst it's ever been in terms of, obviously we've all talked about 3 hours is too long. The formatting of it and to turn into the 9 o'clock hour and to spend that much time touting the charity work. Thumbs up for the charity work they do with Connor's Cure, and this is the time of year this is like the month they give Connor's Cure. It's front and center. But to spend going into the 9 o'clock hour, like it's just the formatting. It is truly the furthest thing from a pro wrestling show. Like SmackDown is. It is the furthest thing. And I do think, look, YouTube numbers are still going well. That's what they look at that stuff.
I don't think there's as concerned about the TV as it is right now. That's
TV,
probably why they're doing
TV is a medium that has as least importance as it ever has. But I do think WWE does have to take a little bit of ownership and say, okay, what is it about this show? Can we change something in the show at all to swing
That's
this
only
around?
if they care about that low rating.
Right.
Do you think they care about
you
that?
look the most viewed YouTube.
Maybe not right now. They don't care about it.
Again, it's not giving them the most revenue. They have
Until
the network.
it
They have
becomes-
YouTube views. They have social media platforms.
Right.
Until it becomes more consistent. If this is like
every week,
if this is every
single
week, every other week, it's
Maybe
been like
they'll
this
draw
for
something
several
there.
months, then yes, there's definitely a point where it's like, okay, we need to do something different.
2.5 million people was the highest viewed YouTube video that they put up from Monday Night Raw clips. So right there,
Yeah,
the
they're-
same amount of
Yeah.
people watching USA went
They're
to a
doing
YouTube
fine.
clip.
This is a time where nothing really happens of substance, and then
Right.
once you get in the new year, all the major sports are going away. WWE time.
There's many more factors involved. Kids going back to school, all these sports
Brie
coming
Bella
back.
not being able to work well in the ring.
No,
so
it's like
many issues.
business is bad. It becomes slow and then it peaks back up every time. Until it becomes a real concern, I don't think they should worry about it.
Well, they got the big network specials coming up, of course, the Super Showdown in Australia. They have the Crown Jewel show in Saudi Arabia. Josh Eisenberg, next up video on the playlist, he's going to talk about the Melbourne, Australia show specifically and how it's going to be booked like a house show in his eyes of Eisenberg. Plus, we'll wrap it up and talk about Shawn Michaels, as we think we know what's going to happen with Shawn Michaels. So we'll talk. If Shawn Michaels comes out of retirement, does it change your perspective on him and where he is in the wrestling business? We'll talk about all that. Katie, Juice, I'm Justin. Don't go anywhere.